Quiet in the background. Background action. And action.
Barry Seal. You have an interesting file, Barry. Top of your class in the Civil Air Patrol, youngest pilot in TWA history. You were going places.
Barry Seal is a guy who just wanted adventure. He was a guy that really wanted to fly, and he could fly anything.
Apologize for the delay. We're number 11 for takeoff. We'll try to make it up in the air.
Barry lived beyond the rules in a way that was very unique to that aviation time period.
That's platform 14, one of Shell's helicopters. You can disregard.
You know, now where everything's very controlled, the airspaces and contained, the things that he did and what those pilots were able to do, it was outrageous. And I'm a pilot, Doug Lyman's a pilot, and these things really interested us.
Oh, this is legal? If you're doing it for the good guys?
When I think about America, I think it's a real land of opportunity. We celebrate your ability to go from rags to riches. It's a place that celebrates people who seize opportunity, and nobody seized opportunity more than Barry Seal.
I'd like to open a bank account.
Oh, bless you.
It's just an outrageous story. No, darling, you listen to Daddy. You go do that. We're going on an adventure.
No, we're not going on an
Like the time we went camping in the parish?
Well, not actually, but because every adventure is different.
Gary Spinelli wrote the original screenplay, and it's based on a true story, but it's not based on a book. It's all original reporting.
Central America, right now. We're building nations down there, Barry. And we could use someone like you. You're CIA.
The summer of 2013, was looking for little hidden pieces of history, small stories that affected larger global events, and I came across the Mina story. And I always wanted to do a gangster film. Goodfellas is one of my favorite movies, and was always on the hunt to try to find my version of that. And once I started researching CIA's involvement in Mina, the same name kept popping up, was this Barry Seal character. And as soon as I found Barry, I knew I had a movie.
Barry, where are you going?
It's awesome to have Tom Cruise playing Barry Seal, and Tom Cruise is so perfect for it, is that it enabled Tom to sort of flex his muscles as a pilot and an adventurer.
I don't think there was any question that Tom wasn't going to do all the flying himself. He's really committed to doing his own stunts. And I don't think I appreciated going into the film really what an extraordinary pilot Tom Cruise is.
With this film, everything you're seeing, it is me flying. There's no CG. You see me put the thing on autopilot and walk to the back of the airplane. That's exactly what happened. Like everything, I trained very hard with the flying, and that Aerostar is an amazing aircraft, and I flew the Cessna, amazing aircraft.
The plane stunt was fun. They showed me a video of what they wanted to happen with Tom doing it, with the plane flying over his head, and it looked cool, and then they told me that I was going to do it. You know, in that very positive Tom Cruise way.
Hey guys, here we go. Lock it up. And rolling.
And action.
The movie is such a unique adventure, and you're a pilot, I'm a pilot. You know, obviously that interests us, the whole story, the world.
We wanted these characters to be original. We wanted, like, the CIA, you've done the CIA, I've done the CIA. It was like, how do we do a CIA that's really unique and matches the uniqueness of this whole story?
This movie is a wish fulfillment. You know, he is this anti-hero that, I mean, you and I talked about it, we don't condone what he did. But it is a wish fulfillment. You can't help it.
Because he sticks it to the man, sticks it to the system, and everybody's got some of that in them, right?
I know, everyone has some of that, and he just lived without boundaries. And it's a time in the history of aviation that's very unique. Nothing like this could ever occur today.
It really was the Wild West. Like, flying in the 80s, that was sort of the end of the Wild West.
Yeah.
You were still free then.
You could get away with stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you felt how he pushed those boundaries.
Tom and myself and Gary Spinelli, the writer, decided we would share a house in Atlanta where we shot most of the movie.
We were looking for Barry's house in the movie, and we're gonna build a set, and we're like, the film is so practical. You know, everything feels like you're just in that environment. And Dan comes over to the house that we rented. After about 15 minutes, they went, you know, actually, this could be Barry's home.
The renovated house that appears in the film is our house. We didn't just live together. The crew was filming in our house.
I would just wake up in the morning and walk downstairs to the crew. We'd shoot, and then at the end of the night, you know, Doug, Gary, and I'd be like, all right, guys, get the hell out of here, you know, so this is our house.
And cut.
So they'd finish shooting, take a shower, a break, eat, and then they'd come back and do story meetings. It would have been grueling for anybody, but not for them, because they had such a great creative chemistry with one another.
It was kind of like a film school boot camp teamwork experience unlike any I've ever had. American Made was creatively one of the most challenging films I've ever worked on. You have Barry Seal at the heart of it, who's this amazing character, but it's kind of a big, expansive story that takes place over 6 years, so how do you condense it down into a riveting 2-hour journey?
Things are in motion here.
What the hell am I gonna do?
I suggest you get your family out of Louisiana.
Well, where am I supposed to take them?
We got a place for you. Mina, Arkansas.
We found a small community about 45 minutes north of Atlanta that has been untouched by development in the last 25 years. Buildings themselves very much lent itself to the early 80s. So the bones of the town were perfect for our mythical Mina, Arkansas that we're recreating.
This place has got a lot of charm.
I thought it was sexy and edgy and dangerous and fun, and just thought, wow, we don't know this story.
The appeal of American Made to me is that it deals with sort of power paradigms and drug smuggling, and it's a very dynamic period in American history and in global history.
Congratulations on your promotion, General.
The part that appealed to me most about his story was not that he was just a drug smuggler. It's a much more complex story than that, about a guy who worked for the government and helping to fund the Contra war effort. And I'm from Washington, D.C., and I grew up during that time period. It was really just a fascinating time period and a fascinating event in our nation's history. So it was a way into those events through the eyes of a character that no one is really that familiar with.
Well, I figured you'd have to show up, see? I just know too much. Schaefer sent you, right?
As I'm reading the script, I'm just enamored the character of Barry Seal, and I'm thinking, this is a story I really want to tell. And then suddenly Oliver North makes an appearance. And I know Oliver North because my father ran the investigation into the Iran-Contra Affair, and Oliver North was his adversary. And I realized that this story that I was falling in love with was a story I knew really well, but I was seeing it from the perspective of a pilot on the front lines. So it's really an amazing experience as a filmmaker.
I just remember always being around helicopters and airplanes. I remember times as a kid, we were flying over the Bermuda Triangle, going to the Bahamas, and we would learn about it in school, so the kids were talking about the Bermuda Triangle. Well, all of a sudden we get over the Bermuda Triangle, and my dad lets us know. Well, then the plane engine shut off and won't start back. You know, we start getting worried, and then he starts the engine back. That's something he would do a lot with us. He got to where we were used to it. We'd say, no, Dad, we know you're gonna start it back. He would turn the plane upside down and do barrel rolls with us as kids, and we just got used to that kind of thing. It was standard operating procedure. One day, we were a field trip at the elementary school across the street. They had a vacant lot where my father was gonna take people on helicopter rides. And the kids had to sign a release form. Only about half the kids in the school, parents allowed them to because for whatever reason they didn't want their children in the helicopter with Barry Seal, but a lot of kids were able to. And what he did was he would just take the helicopter straight up and down. So it was almost like a roller coaster ride. He'd just go straight up in there and down real quickly. And the kids loved it. And when I was young, I thought everybody's father was a pilot. I didn't know, I didn't realize we were wealthy. I didn't realize we were as different as we were. And maybe that was one of the days that I started to realize, well, yeah, not everybody's father is a helicopter pilot and an airplane pilot. And I started to realize there was something different going on, though I wasn't quite sure what it was.
This scene at the CIA conference room, because we're on the back of the boss's head, for a while we were playing with this scene in different places, changing the lines of dialogue he was saying. And we did something similar to this ultimately. We went back and shot a new scene where Schaefer is in his boss's office, and they could be a little bit more specific to what the film needed. But this is just the tone of, I loved portraying the CIA as the kind of dysfunctional bureaucracy that most of us can relate to who don't work at the CIA.
A pilot like you should be flying for the CIA.
The incredible true story of the CIA's biggest secret is now one of the best reviewed films of the fall.
You need to behave.
100% thrilling. It's a hugely entertaining, wild ride.
Oh, this is legal? Yeah. If you're doing it for the good guys.
American made on digital December 19th, on Blu-ray January 2nd.